How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for January 5th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moon Base. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's pretty wild. I mean, Mars is in Capricorn, and the Moon is in Scorpio today, with Pluto in Capricorn, and things are getting revealed, and Mercury has finally moved a degree. So pat yourself on the fucking back. Like, I was looking at when Mercury went into its shadow period on around the 26th of November, and Mercury was squaring Neptune. Neptune was retrograde. When Mercury was direct, preparing to go retrograde. And I found it very interesting that a lot of the things that were going on at that time, a lot of excitement and conversations that were had, it was more just in the ether. You know, it wasn't necessarily followed through with. A lot of things behind the scenes were happening, a lot of things that were very unclear, things that were said that weren't necessarily true or real or didn't have any weight or real value. And now it's like things are starting to bubble up to the surface. And today is one of those days when the moon moves into Scorpio in the morning. Like, we're going to start feeling this deep, intense Plutonian scorpionic energy. It's super intense. I mean, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and the moment the moon moves into Scorpio, making a sextile to Mars. So this is when Mars is really starting to kick into gear, and we're really starting to feel this energy of really wanting to get things done and get shit moving. And, you know, we spent so much time building upon a foundation. Whether, you know, it's been a short-term goal that we've been working towards or a very long-term goal that maybe since Pluto's been in Capricorn that you've been building, you know, and you've had to rebuild many times. And yeah, today's one of those days when just this very intense uprising of scorpionic Plutonian energy is just very deep and intense, and a lot of passion towards what we're moving towards and what we're acting upon is coming out. And it, you know, sometimes it can require getting into intense debates or, you know, discussions with people, you know, because now that Mercury's moving forward and we're getting some mental traction here, you know, there's a lot of uncovering and figuring things out that is getting done today. You know, Mars being exalted in Capricorn, the moon in Scorpio, you know, which is Mars co-ruler with Aries, and Pluto in Capricorn. I mean, this is as Pluto, Scorpio, Mars as it gets, all at once. And the sun is here illuminating that energy in the most intense, extreme way. So definitely back in November, there were so many things that were just so unclear. You know, we had a lot of confidence and, oh yeah, this is going to pull through. We're going to do this. And we're, you know, just a lot of talk. Like, Mercury in Sagittarius is very over exaggerated. You know, words don't mean very much. So with this Mars in Capricorn, it's like, hey, where's the action? Like, we have to follow through with the intentions that we had here, right? So today's a day where this moon supporting Mars with Pluto dispositing the moon, it's like, we have to get shit done. And we are moving forward with extreme passion, and things can get very extreme with this energy. And, you know, Mars is finally in a happy place. So we had Mars in Scorpio in October and, you know, November. That was the first time we really felt Mars in a long time. But now we're really feeling it at its highest point in its exaltation. So, and it's, you know, being very straightforward. You know, it's like, hey, this does not work. This is what hasn't been working, and this is what we need to work towards. So today that is being initiated at an extreme level, which is what we need. Mercury, like when it was going into its shadow point and it was squaring Neptune was retrograde. And now that Mercury is coming out of shadow and it's moving forward, Neptune's direct. So a lot of things that were underneath the surface are now being revealed. And things that you thought were a certain way and they weren't, you were very confident about and you had big ideas. It's like now the truth that could be kind of uncomfortable and can challenge you in many ways is starting to show itself. But this is exactly what we need right now, is we need a dose of reality. With Mars in Capricorn, the Sun, Pluto's about to go into Aquarius. Like, this is a large dose of reality that we need. And we need that to actually build something real, and make our dreams and our visions and make what we have been working really hard for and really hard on, make it real, and the moon is going to oppose Jupiter later today. So this is when a lot of our beliefs and our values get challenged, and that is coming up in our relationships, and exchange and value, but also like being supportive towards one another, because the moon is also trining Saturn at the same time. So loosely there is this, like Jupiter loosely sextiling Saturn, and with this Moon-Mars opposition. So today is one of these days where it's like we are having exchanges with our partners, whether it's our partners in love, especially partners in business or creative partnerships or financial partnerships, or even with Saturn and Pisces, it's spiritual partnerships. Maybe you go to church together, or maybe you congregate in spiritual ways and share spiritual information and help each other learn. Jupiter is about the higher information and the wisdom, the direction that we are going and what we are aiming for, which is higher knowledge of natural law. So this is a day with the moon opposing Jupiter, trining Saturn, Jupiter also supporting with Saturn. It's like when Saturn and Jupiter are really helping each other, it's like we can really push forward on agreements that have been long-standing, that we've been trying to work out here. And I definitely think with that Mercury coming out of shadow, starting to, well, it's not out of shadow yet, but actually moving a degree while Neptune's retrograde, it's like there are things that were maybe put in place 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, that you shook hands on and weren't followed through with. Now today is the day where we can get clear on these things and say, hey, all right, it's been a while. We haven't really followed through. We said this, we said that. Nothing was really real or tangible. Today's a day where things are becoming tangible, and Saturn is helping make that real. And partnerships, really, and, financially. There's financial things where you have ideas to move forward, to make bigger manifestations. Today's a day where it's like, this is perfect for really coming to some common ground and some agreements here. So Mars is ready to kick ass, as Mars keeps moving forward, it's not going to come into contact with the sun, but the sun is getting ready to come into contact with Pluto. So it's like, this is a new way of looking at things. This is a whole new way of connecting with other people. Whether it's, within our local community, within our personal communities, within our spiritual communities. We're looking at whole different ways of connecting with other people. But this is a moment where so many things are being uncovered from underneath the surface with all this Scorpio, Mars, Pluto energy that needs to be revealed before we move into this next big section here. And today's a day where it's like, there's a lot of psychic energy and evaluating one another, and seeing like, okay, like I can trust this situation, I can trust this person, I can trust what this person is saying, which can be very difficult when Mercury and Neptune are immutable signs and they're squaring each other. It's hard to tell what is truly real. It's hard to tell what if your own thoughts are real, And this is a good time to question, like, are these thoughts my own? And especially with Mercury and Sag, like, is this my own self coming up with these thoughts or ideas, Like, because sometimes it's easy to fall into a programming in a pattern. And with Mercury, Neptune squaring, it's like this is a real challenge to break the programming and to break habits. These mutable signs, they help us kind of, break where we get stuck, especially with the moon in Scorpio, Jupiter in Taurus. It's like, it's very fixed energy and it wants to be where it's at and it just wants to be solid in things. And as much as we want things to be solid, and today is a day where we are having these conversations to help create a more solid future with the help of Mars, it's like there's also this underlying element of what is actually real and what is your own thoughts, what is your own programming, and what is shared thoughts between us all. And we're going to see a lot of that with Pluto and Capricorn, or Pluto and Aquarius. And this is what they kind of call the age of Aquarius, right? Is when everybody is on this, 4D, 5D, higher dimensional level where we're all telepathically connected, whether that's on a spiritual level or a technological level. We're going to see. We're going to find out. So we don't really know yet. So, I'm excited to see how that takes shape. Maybe it's both. I will say, like, there might be some division in who, because that's Aquarius. Aquarius is also very spiritual, but it's also technological. So, it is gonna reveal this kind of division and what path people are taking within this Aquarian kind of transition here of who's going to be taking much more of a spiritual communal route and who's going to be taking more of the technological matrix route. So we're about to see. So definitely today with all this, the moon in Scorpio, Mars in Capricorn, Pluto, the sun in Capricorn. It's just so plutonic and scorpionic. So there's a lot of revealing, a lot of uncovering, a lot of things that have been buried that are coming up. And with Mercury moving forward, it's finally giving us the mental strength. We're gaining our mental strength back. Finally. It's been a while. And once it squares Neptune over the weekend, I think until Monday or Tuesday, there's going to be some things that are going to come out and pop out. It's like, shit, I should have saw that, I should have not fantasized or romanticized that idea. It's like Mars and Capricorn, Sun. It's like, you got to be realistic. You got to have a realistic approach to manifest big shit. And we are, man. This 2024 is a year of massive manifestations. And we haven't seen a year like this probably since 2010, 2011. It's been a long time since we've had a massive year like this. And at the same time, I'll kind of zoom out to wrap this up. On a collective level, you can apply this to your own life as well. And I can't say too much because I don't want YouTube to flag this or fuck around with it, or remove this video. But, there's some things about a list of people that is coming out, right? So this is happening within the past day or two, and more information is gonna keep coming out, But at the same time, with Mercury squaring Neptune, it's like, is this a red herring of like, we're going to give you this information to distract you over here, but to not to distract you from like what you really should be focusing on, right? So you don't want to get caught up in distractions. You want to try to have as much awareness of what is distracting you and what looks like is the truth, but is actually distracting you from where you really need to put your focus. And ironically enough, this is what's crazy. I'm not going to say names, but this person who didn't kill himself, whose list just came out, his birthday is January 20th. And I looked at his chart last night. And if you go to Astro Theme, or you can look at a celebrity's charts and whatever, the time that they give him on that chart for 3:15 a.m. in Brooklyn, New York, it says that his sun is 0 degrees Aquarius, 0 degrees, 0 minutes. But when I type it into Astro Gold, which is what I use, it gives me 29 degrees, 59 minutes Capricorn, which to me, Astro Gold is, trusted and it's very accurate. So I really like that chart, that this man who didn't kill himself, his sun would technically be 29 degrees, 59 minutes Capricorn, which is the very last degree, the very last minute of Capricorn. And when I saw that, I'm like, wow, this is his whole, maybe I shouldn't even be talking about this on a daily horoscope, but I am just applying this to this uncovering of information and uncovering where we've been distracted in our own lives. It's like there are things that are coming our way that are really going to tear down our old ways of thinking and being. And we're going to have 2 more swings of this and 2 more passes before we're fully into it. But maybe this is the whole point, is that this one thing, there could be one thing in your life that is meant to tear down those structures and those walls to help you get to the next dimensional phase that we're moving into, which is this Aquarian thing. So we're coming out of all this political crazy shit that we've been going through with Pluto and Capricorn, because it is Pluto and Capricorn. Capricorn is political. You can't help but, get into that kind of side of things when you're talking about Capricorn. It's the governments, the institutions, the churches, the military, politicians, police officers, you name it. That's Capricorn, Anything that's very stern and militant and in a nice suit with a nice watch, with a briefcase, that's Capricorn. So it's hard to avoid those kinds of things, right? So anyway, I'll wrap that up. But there's a lot of uncovering of deep, deep, deep truths. Pluto and Scorpio likes to get down deep into the truth. And Sagittarius comes after Scorpio, so that's when the truth comes out. Scorpio finds the truth. Sag shares the truth, teaches the truth. And whatever that is different for everybody. But, I will say something controversial, but I do think that there are more definite truths in the universe than what the Matrix has kind of led us to believe now. It's that, everybody has their own truth. It's like, yeah, great. But it's all true that we're all going to die one day. And it's all true that when I go out at night, there are stars above us and I can watch them move from night to night. I can watch the retrogrades in the sky. That is a truth. That's a fact. Gemini backs up those truths with its facts. So this is a moment with Mercury squaring Neptune. It's like, what is true? What is factual? And it's going to blow our minds. There's things in your personal life that's going to blow your mind that you thought it was one way and it's actually another way. But this information that's coming through with Mercury right now and Neptune, because Neptune is like a subconscious antenna. It's well needed for our physical and spiritual and intellectual growth. So anyway, like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Go to my Instagram. I post these clips on TikTok. something very exciting too, which Thursday's horoscope yesterday was the first horoscope that was shared to Spotify. So if you're a Spotify listener and you prefer Spotify over YouTube, my horoscopes are now going to be on Spotify every day. So go to Alex Skyles Astrology in the search bar and Spotify, and you'll see it. And I'm also working on a lot of other content that I'm going to post on YouTube and Spotify. And my Instagram, I'm also in the works with a lot of other people in the spiritual community and astrologers who were developing content, and I'm super, super stoked about and have been wanting to share this kind of stuff for a long time with people. So I'm super stoked to be connecting with everyone and gearing up for this massive transition. And one last thing is Natalie Sadie and I, the wonderful Natalie Sadie, did a 2024 astrological overview, really just a conversation about the astrology of 2024, and it's posted on her YouTube. So I'll post the link down below and go check that out. And leave some comments, ask some questions. If you ask questions, I can answer them in the next video. I would appreciate that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.